Paris, a tropical storm has brought drenching rains to Haiti just days after a massive earthquake struck the country. The earthquake's epicenter on the west side of Haiti reverberated throughout the country and surrounding islands and has caused more than 1,900 deaths and left almost 10,000 people injured. In Chicago, local organizations are working to send over resources like food and funds for rebuilding. Joining us now with more on that are Elsie Hernandez, the president and founder of the Haitian American Museum of Chicago, and Marc-Yves St. Victor, the Consul General of Haiti in Chicago. Thanks to you both for joining us. Marc-Yves St. Victor, let's start with you, please. I think you both have family and friends there in Haiti. What do you know about how they're doing right now?
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you tonight and talking about this topic. You know, it's really heartbroken for me, having that people calling from Haiti asking for help because of that earthquake happening that Saturday. The situation over there is really worse, and as you mentioned before, there's that tropical storm, Grace, bringing rains and rain in the southern part of Haiti, already affected by this tragedy, and it's really difficult for them.
Elsie Hernandez, how about you? How would you say family and friends there are doing?
Well, there are basically my brother have children that are living and were raised in Campirin in the south side of the country where a lot of damages have occurred. And unfortunately, they have lost their home. So I have a personal tragedy within my own family. So not only my family, but there are many, many families within that region of the country in Campirin that are really suffering. Churches and schools and everything else have been demolished or destroyed. So it's very difficult because they have water, they don't have a place to stay, they're mostly homeless. And so we're hoping that eventually the government or the NGOs will come sooner than later to help these people.
And I'm sorry to hear about that tragedy within your own family. Marc-Yves St. Victor, what resources would you say are most needed on the ground there in Haiti?
We almost need everything. That's know that with the earthquake, everything has been destroyed. Roads, schools, church, hospital are overwhelmed. So we need like clothes, tents, medical supplies, masks, as you know that COVID is raising again. So everything counts, every gesture counts. So we need a lot of help to be able to provide them to these people affected by this strike.
And of course, Elsie Hernandez, we know that this quake comes at a time that the country has been dealing with the assassination of the president just last month. How has the government's response been there?
I think this question is more to the Consul General of Haiti because I do not know much about the government.
Okay, in that case, I will. Mark?
Yes, the government is actually having boots on ground, and they are working hard to bring helps that they can to the population. We have the Ministry of Working and our Public Working that already going over there with trucks and other engines to try to try to remove people under the demolished house. As well, we have help from USAID that bring more that bring 65 people, 65 helpers that help the government as well.
Okay, and Elsie, what action would you like to see from the U.S. government?
I would like the U.S. government to understand that the need of the people is the priority. So the mass of the people that are homeless and without a home and that are suffering, that are hungry, and that way somehow they have a program for these individuals and not, not giving money to the government per se, but to find a way to manage to provide the direct aids to the people themselves. So this is so important. We learned from 2010 that it was a complete disaster what happened to the money that came to Haiti. So definitely the US needs to understand that the people on the ground are the ones that really need the help.
And on that note, because as you just mentioned, there were issues with people receiving the money that was donated after the 2010 earthquake. How do people ensure that the money that they are donating will actually get to the people who are on the ground there in Haiti?
Um, yes, of course, we learned from 2010, and to prevent that, the government has created an emergency board advisory called Centre d'Opération Nationale, and we urge everybody to go through that management crisis because they know everything. They know where to help, what are the needs of the communities, and they can redirect the help bringing to these people to the right place.
And briefly, before I let you go, Elsie or Mark, I'll ask you, what is it that you all are doing to ensure that that you're sending what you can, that you're supporting your home country? And we've got about 20 seconds. I apologize.
So I'm the president of the Haitian American Museum, also the founder in Chicago. We are located in Uptown's 4654 North Racine. We are doing a fundraiser to provide 5 families in the rural area of Pico, that's near Campirin. And we have identified 5 needed families that are homeless, and we're going to help them as much as possible.
With that fundraiser. Okay, best of luck to you both, Elsie Hernandez and Mark Yves St. Victor. We're out of time. Thanks to you both for joining us.
Yes, and I would like to conclude to say that there's other organizations working as well on that. There's CHAI, the Haitian Congress, Sons and Daughters of Haiti, and the Haitian Association American of Illinois.
Thank you so much for, and sorry, we're actually out of time, but Mark, thank you so much for joining us, to both you and Elsie Hernandez.
Thank you.